Good morning. Thanks for being here. Like the brave ones who have survived the night and have chosen to be present in the morning. Wow. My mother always said, if you want to be a big girl in the evening, you have to be a big girl in the morning too. So
That's true.
I don't know, probably all those parents have said things like that. This is my colleague Alexandra from Peru. Can you introduce yourself very quickly?
Well, I'm very happy to be here. I'm from Peru, South America, and I have been doing this kind of visual work for almost 6 years. So yeah, I'm also a UX UI designer and a psychologist. So I'm very happy to be here.
And so I'm Axelle, and I'm doing this work for 12 years, and I'm from Belgium. And we are very, very happy to inspire you today and to make you draw even more. I don't know, who was yesterday in my session in the morning? In the morning? Okay. So I asked the question, who of you is drawing still today, just to know. Who is still drawing today? Yeah, things like that. Okay. So you're not drawing today anymore? Not at all? Okay. Wondering what that looks like. Okay, so if you remember in my session, if you were there, I said that every child has been born as an artist, and the biggest challenge is to stay it when you grow up. So the first thing what I want to do with you is to show you're still an artist. Welcome. Take a seat where there is paper and a pen, please. I mean, we're just going to start with a small icebreaker, so it's just some time. What I wanted to ask you is to take a piece of paper. If you have a Sharpie as a pen, make sure it's more than one piece of paper because they tend to bleed on the surface below. We had like hundreds of those, but they are too popular and they disappeared. So I will just give you this one.
Thank you.
So what I want to ask you is to you take your pen, you take your piece of paper, you put your pen without the cap, of course, so on the paper, so with a point on the paper. And when you've done that, you close your eyes. You close your eyes, and please don't cheat because then the exercise is not fun. You close your eyes and you draw your face. You're going to draw your own portrait without looking what you're doing. You close your eyes and you make a portrait of yourself without looking. So you keep your eyes closed the whole process of drawing. Okay, good luck. And don't look, because then it's not fun. And it can be easier when you keep your point on the paper without taking it. It's too late for some people, I see.
Too late.
Wait. Yeah, no problem. And okay.
No, looking so.
So when you're done, you can open your eyes and look at your portrait.
That's
Just a
Flat. Yeah, flat. That's hard. Yeah, some people have
it's in my face, my eyes.
I try 1 minute, but
Looks like a model.
Okay, I have a question for you. Please, first of all, how was it to do the exercise before you saw the result? How did it? Welcome. We just started with an icebreaker, so you didn't miss so much. And how was it to do the exercise, to draw with your eyes closed? How did that feel?
oh, nervous.
Nervous. Okay, why nervous?
Oh, I didn't really know what I was doing, right? Because I couldn't see. So.
Yeah. Okay, a bit nervous. What else?
Better.
Fun. Why is it fun?
Something different. I wouldn't do that otherwise.
Okay, that's great.
Easy.
Easy. Why easy?
Because I knew I didn't have expectations of being right.
Exactly.
So I wasn't looking at, oh no, I'm screwing it up right now. Like, no, I'm not even getting, I'm getting the paper, that's success.
Yeah, exactly. And if there's one thing I want you to remember if you leave this room is this. So the biggest enemy when you start drawing is your judgment. So if you can draw with your eyes closed, imagine what you can do with your eyes open. And the fact is, when you start drawing with your eyes open, if I would ask you, make a photo of yourself with your eyes open, you would say, I can't do that. I freak out, you know? But because your eyes were closed, you just did it. No one was freaking out. Everyone was doing it. And everyone had a face. Like, if I show this is not a horse. It's not a car. It's clearly a face. It's a Picasso face, by the way. So remember that. Your brain is your biggest enemy. The judgment you have for your drawing is the biggest enemy. And but by the way, I heard some people say, oh, it's better than I thought, it's nice, so the result is pretty good, although it's not perfect. Yeah, so it's not about perfectionism. Why did we stop drawing? Why did you stop drawing? Because a lot of people stop drawing somehow, some point in time.
Because I was not good enough.
Because you were not good enough. Yeah, judgment. What else?
Exactly.
No time.
No time. Okay, it takes time. Yeah.
Not a priority, not a sport.
Not a sport. Yeah, not a priority.
I thought I got the major features done already.
Oh, yeah, okay. What else?
It's not useful in your life.
There's a future in your life.
It's not useful.
Somebody
Somebody
okay.
say that it's
You're
not
used.
useful in our life.
Okay, yeah, it's true. Is it true? Of course. Yeah,
I think it's also cultural. At some point, as we are growing up, at a particular point, they force us to thinking about what can bring you income, right? And it's cultural in the sense that you don't make much money by pursuing arts. At least at the time I was growing up in India.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So like, don't waste your time on this, spend on that.
Yeah.
So even you could cultivate it as a hobby, but not at the expense of your studies.
Exactly. Yeah, and indeed, if you have the talent for drawing, they will say, oh, go to academy or something, but then they're not going to say, oh, you have to become an artist, because they think of Vincent van Gogh with one ear and four, and so no, they don't want children to become artists. There's also another reason you told me as a psychologist,
Yes.
why people stop drawing.
Yes, it is said that at the age of 8, we stop drawing because we start to compare our results with others. And that is exactly what you did today also. After you opened your eyes, you started to compare the results with the others.
Yeah.
And that is why we usually stop drawing at the age of 8, because we start getting more conscious of our results, and we start to have more fear about not having the right answer or the best drawing ever. So that is why mostly.
Yeah. So you said, I don't know your name.
Pablo?
Yeah, Pablo. You said there's no use for. Well, I just quickly want to tell something about the field of visual thinking. Because visual thinking, it's a job already for 50 years. I think all of us were maybe born, I was born just 50 years ago, but most of us we're not even born. And it's already a job for 50 years. So it's David Simmons, the left guy there. I talked with him like 5 years ago. He said he was doing it already for 45 years, visual thinking. So translating strategies into visual stories, facilitating meetings in a visual way. So it is already for a long time a job. So it's not just playing, it's a serious job that pays well. So just if you have children and you want to push them in an arty way, it's possible. No. And Dan Rome, by the way, is another very famous guy who made it to the White House with his drawings because he translated the healthcare system of the US on the back of a napkin. And he got to see the president with that. So just to say that it's serious business. It's not just drawing and laughing and art, you know? Oh yeah, oh, there's a kicker. I didn't know that. Yesterday there wasn't. Okay, so we're going to walk you through a few techniques that help you do visual thinking, and that by the end of this session will make you much stronger in visual storytelling. And the first technique is frames. So I will ask you to draw a frame around the portrait that you just have made. And if you didn't make a portrait because you came in a little bit later, which is not an issue at all, you just quickly draw a face, whatever. You can close your eyes because that's what the others did. They did it with the eyes closed, and just draw a frame around the portrait. Okay. What is the impact of that frame on your portrait? What does it do with your drawing?
It's in focuses.
It focuses, yes. What else?
It's impactful, it sticks.
It sticks, yeah.
So it clarifies what it is.
Yeah, it attracts the attention, it clarifies. What else?
Focuses the eye to.
Yeah, yeah. So even if after today, after that one message about judgment, if you keep one thing and it's a frame, it's already a huge thing. Maybe you use like flip charts in meetings and so on. You probably just write on it. As soon as you start using frames around the different topics on your flip chart, it will feel immediately more visual, and it will make it easier for the brain to see what's on that flip chart, because the brain is always looking for patterns. So if you put like frames around the different objects, it's going to scan very easily what's on the flip chart. And I always also show two kinds of frames. So this is a closed frame and this is an open frame. It's twice the same face, let's say. Which one feels the biggest one for you?
Second.
Second one.
The second, yeah. That is because the frame is smaller. So if you make the frame smaller and you make the content pop out, it attracts a little bit more, it comes to the forefront more. So imagine you are facilitating a meeting. You have a flip chart, you write it. You don't know what's coming, you don't know what's going to be important in the meeting, so you don't know what to highlight yet. So you just start following the content, and at a certain point, there's something you want to highlight. What you can do is put a frame around it, but smaller than what the content is. And then you bring that to the forefront. And even if you would like add color to it, I'm doing it quickly because on paper it shows it better, but now you can see. No matter where in the room you are, your attention will go to that, no? So it's a very simple technique with a frame to attract the attention to what you want to attract. Where do you want attention to be?
And we also use the color as a strategic way to highlight the main information, the most important information that we want to people see. So that is why we use colors in a strategic way. And you don't need to use a lot of colors, because if we make this very colorful, it will mean nothing at the end. So with just 2 colors is enough.
Yeah.
2 to 3, it is okay.
Yeah.
More than that, it will be very complicated for people to understand really what you want to say. So with 2 colors is okay.
Yeah, and there's something about consistency. So that's always, and you will hear it a lot. Consistency is king. So if you use frames, then you better use always the same frames, unless you want to indicate an aspect is different from another aspect. So that's if you use speech bubbles and you suddenly use like a cloud bubble, then immediately our brain thinks, oh, that's different. It's something else. So consistency is really important. Same with colors. Yeah.
I understand that you said maybe the second frame is more good for focus, but how do you frame a word like that?
Yeah, I will show you. So imagine I was listening to you. So why don't you draw anymore? It was about no time. I can't. So you frame a word like this, or you do this. So that's closed, that's open. What I sometimes do, I leave it open, so I can also, when I have time, I can add an icon. So I can make it more important, you see? So these are different frames, so it's not interesting. You don't have to, you see immediately, your brain will think it's two different things because this is a frame like this and this is another frame. If I have exactly the same frame,
Oh, for all
the
other.
brains will think it
Okay,
belongs together,
okay.
you know? So I very often leave my frames open so I can add something to it when it seems to be very important. That's how we build up. You don't know in the beginning what's going to be the big message of it. And I'm talking about live recording. It's different when you prepare something, then you know upfront what's important. Anyway, I'm going to move on because we have a lot of things to do. I have related the different steps to storytelling because obviously normally Jennifer Aker was on the program yesterday and I knew she was going to talk about storytelling. So I wanted to relate my course today, our course today about storytelling. So it's maybe a bit strange because she wasn't there, but anyway. So there are 5 steps when you build up a visual story. And the first one is about the message, of course. Why does your story matter? So the first thing is that you have to think, okay, what I want people to take away from my drawing. What's the first thing we want people to see? And that's the glance. So if you make a drawing, and by the way, it also counts for a PowerPoint slides. This applies to any kind of communication. If someone has 3 seconds and they look at it, what's the first thing they see? And I forgot that we have no. Can we use the back of your that non-finished drawing? Can you use that one? Yeah. So imagine there's a board and they walk by the board, they see like 3 seconds. What do you want them to see? So you make it. Yeah, so that's a glance. It can be the title, but only if the title is the most important message. So make sure that the glance is exactly what you want people to see the first, that they want them to remember. Because if you look at a PowerPoint slide, very often the title is not important, like evaluation, introduction. Those are typical titles, but it doesn't tell anything, you know? Okay, so that's the first. The second one is scan, and it's an unfinished board, so it's not completely, maybe not completely relevant, but the scan are those things you can scan easily while looking at the board. Maybe it's maybe not clear enough because it was not, but are there certain things that you say, this is easy to scan on this board?
Data.
Unlocking data.
Unlocking data, yeah.
Bullet points.
Bullet points, yeah.
I can see 3 sections.
Yeah, and which are the sections?
This side that's coming down, which is the overarching storyline, and then then the projects and the unlocking data.
Yeah, indeed. So I'm going to use a marker. It's not going to be used anyway. So imagine that we do this. We do this, and we do. I'm just playing it. This is probably the scam. So if here there would be a title, that would be the glance, and then your eyes, they do this. That is scam. You guide the eyes to the points you want them to guide, and then below that you have the read. That's the text that people will start reading. So that's really important when you make a message, that you make a kind of hierarchy, because when everything is on the same level, the brain finds it very hard to find its way through the content, especially when there's a lot of content on it. Yeah. So like I said, it applies for everything, for flyers, for PowerPoint slides, for everything you make, and especially also for drawings. Questions about that? No? Okay.
And as you see, we use text and drawings. We don't only use drawings, because if we only use drawings, we may been doing some kind of Egyptian old drawings, you know, I don't.
Hieroglyphs. Is it hieroglyphs? Or how it's called?
Yeah, that kind of drawings. And so the idea is to share the information that we want to share with people. So we need a good balance between text and drawings. And we usually, some people were asking me how we can do this kind of work. We usually start by writing information.
Yeah.
And then we start to add color and mostly at the end, the drawing. So that is how we can do this kind of work.
Yeah, especially imagine you are in a session, it always goes fast. So you listen, you write text, you follow with the words, and afterwards you're going to add visuals. That's really important. People think we draw all the time. It's not true. We start drawing at the moment we have time to draw. When someone is telling a small story, when someone is repeating himself, then you start to draw. Right? And now we are actually going to start to draw. Oh no, we would, yeah. I want to see what kind of people I have in this room. And we start with drawing a hero, so a person. Because if you draw a person, your drawing will attract much more attention than without a person, because our brain is programmed like that. We always want to see faces. So I want to ask you to draw a person in 3 seconds. 3 seconds, a full person from head to toes, full person in 3 seconds. Because in our job, everything has to go fast, super, super fast. So 3 seconds to do a full person. 1, 2, 3. If it's not done, you're too slow. Okay, can you show what you did so we can see a little bit what kind of level we are dealing with? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Amazing. This is my favorite part of the training because very often the learning curve is now very, very, very steep. So you will, in a few seconds, improve your drawing already much better. So we're going to walk through 2 different ways of drawing people that take 3 seconds, but look maybe a little bit more professional. Sorry. Oh, it's, okay. I was thinking fire alarm. Okay, so the first one is the, I will take another, yeah, I will get big enough. The first one is a star person. So you draw a kind of star and you put a head on it. Can you try that?
Green.
Yeah, because that's low, and then everyone can see that. And then, did that work for everyone? Yeah, okay. You can also do the arms, because not everyone is standing like that all day. This way of drawing people is really fast, really easy, and it looks,
Nice.
yeah, it looks professional.
Better than what I had.
Yeah, well, so that's already very satisfying. Now, the downside of this star person is that it's really hard to make it move. So if you want this person to move, it's going to be hard because you have those double lines and everything. So Alexandra is going to show different ways of drawing people that is much easier to make move. Can you show it?
So we have the star person, and now we are going to name this other kind of drawing person, the rectangle one. So we are going to use rectangles and strokes and just that. So you start by drawing a rectangle, like this one.
You can all draw rectangles.
Then you add kind of an oval in the top. Draw the head. And then you add 2 lines for the leg. Okay, and 2 other lines for the arms. Notice that I have drawn the arms from the top of the rectangle. Because the top of my rectangle gonna be my shoulders. If not, the arms will be like if I have a person that has the arms at the side. So it's that this is very important. Okay. And also with the rectangle, we can make this person to move. If we do this kind of rectangle, so please try it. Yeah, the head. We can still have one leg straight. And the other one, we can do this. This like moving. One arm. And the other one. Can you show us? Good. We can see some of you smiling. Great.
Yeah.
I already feel like an artist.
So we can stop now.
So now I'm going to make a movement and you try to copy my movement by drawing. Okay, that's clear? Yeah. So try to copy me, but with the rectangle sides.
Thank you.
See? That's good. Good results.
I know. Small, small.
So this is a kind of an exercise that you can keep on doing with your colleagues or at home to keep on practicing, because the thing is that you need to keep on practice. If you, this is like I always say, like learning a new language. If you don't practice the language you are learning, you forgot how to use it. So you need every day at least 5 or 3 minutes. Just draw. Just draw while you're waiting for your coffee, while you're having breakfast or lunch. Just draw in whatever you have. Just a piece of paper, a napkin, whatever. Okay.
When you're sitting in a useless meeting, which should happen every day. Plenty of time there.
Oh, then I'm an artist.
Well, I'm not laughing, by the way, that's the
I do it
best
all the
way
time,
to,
but-
yeah, best way to keep your attention in a meeting where you're bored.
Yeah.
Okay, so that about, you have a few other examples there, so please take pictures and just try to do it, because copying is the best way of learning, so just do it. Alexandra is going to show you, because we have a hero. When you have a little bit more time, you can think about how can I make my hero more specific? How can I give it something that we recognize the kind of person? Imagine if you would like, your hero would be an accountant, whatever, I'm just naming kind of, then maybe you are thinking about giving some attributes that make that hero an accountant, you know? So that's something you can think about. But there's another thing about a hero. He or she wants something and he or she feels something. So Alexandra is now going to show how you can very easily create emotions, in a very, very easy way. So can you please take a new sheet of paper and do like Alexandra, make like a matrix with 9 boxes. And as you can see, she has drawn mouth and eyebrows next to the boxes, because those 2 parts of our face express the emotion. Yeah. Can you explain what the next step is, Alexandra?
You already have your boxes. Yes.
Yes.
So now we are going to add some circles inside the boxes. I have 9 circles. Okay. And we are going to start to play with these elements as Axelle told you. We have the eyebrows and the mouth. So I'm gonna start by adding the eyes, just as that. Two little lines in each one of the circles. Okay. Easy. That's easy. Okay. And now we're gonna start to use this one and this one. And the same with each one of the lines. Is that clear?
Mhm.
Yes. So, for example, here, we are going to see the results.
To myself. You can follow or we can do our own.
You can do your own, you can do your own. Just a principle of combining the lines.
So now you have learned how to give your hero an expression.
Mhm.
With just moving the lines. It depends on how you put the line. How the results gonna be. And also, one principle is that when we use people in our drawing, it creates more engagement. But if we also add expression to that person that we are drawing, it creates even more engagement. So if you really want something to pop up and to make people think about the message that you're trying to share, use these techniques. Are very small tips and tricks that you can use to enhance your drawing.
Yeah. So we have you can already make story now because you have a hero, you have already frames. You can write, I suppose you do. So even with that, you can already do a lot. Imagine that you have a flip chart or a drawing or something, you have already this, it's already a huge difference. But of course, if hero takes place, I'm behind my slides, it takes place in a context. So now we're going to draw like attributes, maybe something about the background, maybe something about what he's thinking about with icons. We're going to translate certain concepts to drawings. To be warmed up for that, I want to ask you to go with me a little bit in the basics of a drawing. So we can all start by drawing like a square, for instance. Yes, you can take another page if you want. Then a circle. Maybe a triangle. Maybe what? A rectangle. A rectangle, yeah. Maybe like waves or clouds. So very easy shapes. And you just have to know that every drawing in the world is just a collection of these lines. It's nothing more than that. So if you can do this, you can draw whatever you want. Is there someone who was not able to do this? Okay, so you're all able to do whatever you want, okay? The hard thing is to come up with it. So you don't have to reinvent it. You can also look for it on the internet. You can do, for instance, motivation doodle. Or you can go to the Noun Project or Flat Icon. Those two, but yeah.
So when I was learning to draw at school, I was taught 4 words. I, C, S, O. They are the basic curves. I stands for the straight line, C stands for one curve like this, S is that, and the O is the circle.
Yeah.
And everything is a variation of that.
It's true, it's true. So that's, you have to remember that nothing is too difficult if you don't make it too difficult. Okay? So keep it very simple. The only thing is that I always recommend is to really close your shapes really well. Because if you start doing this, like this, that feels pretty messy and it can feel like you're very insecure. So if you close your shapes really well, it feels like secure.
One second.
Okay, so we have done that. I'm going to go there. We're going to do a few icons. And I'm going to do a few ones that are the most used ones. And you can just copy what I do, and you will see what you can do already. So we will start with a circle. Opening the circle. And then we're going to add some shapes, like 2 small lines. Can you all see that? Or is it too small? Otherwise, I make it bigger. Then you do a small triangle. You can do that. You can even fill it half if you want. You go into a kind of line. And you have an icon for, what could that be? ID, innovation, creativity, whatever. It's the most used icon, I think, on the planet. I don't know how many people use this, but you can use it like 50 times a day if you want. So it's maybe a little bit too much used. Very easy, you just have to know how to do it. So that's the first one. Another one that is also used very often is draw like 6 lines. And then you're going to close the lines with open triangles and the other side. So you have basically 3 arrows. And then you're going to draw a line behind it. Okay, what do you have here?
Signpost.
The signpost. And what could that be as an icon? What could be the meaning be?
Direction.
Direction, strategy, choice. So imagine you have different options and you want to show that in a visual way. You could write option 1, but then of course the name of that option, not option 1, option 2, option 3, and then you're going to draw those arrows around it. Very important, by the way, with frames, always first the content and then the frame. Very, very important. So I did the opposite here, by the way. So here, very simple, just 6 lines, you close it, and you have a very good icon for that. Imagine, and I'm going to do that curved line that I showed before. So you can do that behind the signpost. And another curved line. And another one that goes a little bit smaller in the end. What do we have here? A roadmap. We have a roadmap, yeah, and even if you would, maybe you want to indicate the stages of the roadmap, then you can even make boxes. Filling the phases of your roadmap. And another line. What could that be?
Horizon.
Yeah, destination, your mission, your vision, the goal you're going to. And remember, you can draw people, so you can involve them in the journey. So just to show that with a few lines, you can tell a whole story. It's not difficult. And then I have a whole bunch of drawings there, and many of them, they're all consistent by simple lines. So the only thing you have to do is copy. And I know some are more complex than others, I agree. But like, for instance, change is a good example. Change, how can you draw change, for instance? How would you draw change?
Have a fork in the road. Have a fork in the road to show a split.
Oh, yeah, that could be like, yeah. maybe a little bit strange, but anyway, yeah, it could be. How,
A dotted visualization, a dotted way of saying a transition from one place to another.
yeah, could also be, yeah. It could be, change could be simply an arrow, for instance. And maybe it could be from a square to a circle. It's change. You see, you don't have to make it complicated. You can, with very simple things, you can tell a story. See? So what I recommend, if you are in a boring meeting, you open up flat icon, for instance. It's one of the websites I was referring to, or the Noun project, and you just start copying. So you type, for instance, motivation or change or whatever, and you just start copying the images you see there. And if you are in a certain business and you very often you have like 50 icons you will use constantly because it's the same terminology you're using constantly. Just try to find different ways of drawing those aspects.
And would that also go back to what you mentioned about consistency, right? If we use the same icon over and over again in the same storyboard, you have the audience with you through the journey of the storytelling.
It could be, yeah. So if you, for instance, have a certain icon for a certain aspect and your audience is coming back to you and you always want them to remember the same thing, yeah, then I would do that.
Right.
If you have like a big story, like when we are doing our job and we have to draw 5 times innovation,
Right.
I will try to find different ways to do it, because otherwise you have the same light bulb 5 times on your sheet. Then we don't want that. So I'm not going to go into that, but there are different ways of looking at an icon. So you can also think about how does it make you feel? What's the result of that word? So that you don't only draw what you see, but that you also draw what you could feel or what the result of that word could be as well. But if we do that now, then it takes us too far. So yeah, but how do you feel about your confidence now already? How is it? From a scale from 1 to 5, can you show how far we are
10.
already?
10 or
Yeah.
multiply it by however you want.
From 0 to 5.
Great. So that about icons, don't make it too difficult and make sure your audience recognizes it.
So I have one question.
Yeah.
So when you draw the visual thing in a live talk,
Yeah,
you have to follow the speaker, right?
yeah.
So are you looking for some keywords and then you know that?
So that's
how-
what I said before. I listen.
Okay.
Some of the speakers are fast and they were fast. So you have to be with them, with the content, because the content is crucial. It's about content. And then certain points, I see space to start drawing and then I do it. Yeah. And of course we draw fast because we're used to it. But yeah, so first content, then drawing. That's how I do it.
So first context, then drawing.
Yeah, that's how we do it. Yeah. Okay, so do you all have like a page with several aspects on it? Like people, your icon, something? Do you have something like that? Yeah, okay. If you have it, take it. I'm going to show it again on this. If we have a story, we also have scenes. That means that we want to show the several aspects of the story so that our brain knows, okay, this is a part of the story, this is a part of the story, and this is part of the story. We make it as brain friendly as possible. When you look at this drawing, this could be a scene, this could be a scene, this could be a scene. And she had done it with frames. See, so the frames we were using in the beginning are, we can use them again to make the scenes of the story. So what I want to ask is to make scenes around the different parts on your paper. So whatever paper you have there, whatever drawing you have there, make the different scenes so that you split up the different parts and that all the drawings are not just one bunch of drawings, but that it feels like has different stories in the. Oh, I pushed button too fast. Okay. is the one story, and then, okay, I didn't know that, okay. So Alexandra tells me that these are two stories. So I'm going to split it up. Into stories. So now you see clearly it's two stories. Before you didn't, before it felt like one story. Right? I could even say, okay. Because like a cloud is for me also a frame. So if I do, that was the title? I'm drawing on some of them. You're drawing, that feels really weird. Okay, so now I show two stories, the title, and in the stories, the different aspects. Okay, did that work for you too? So this is all about structure. So it's not only about a nice drawing. People always tell me, oh, your drawings are nice. But I'm not even a good artist at all. I'm really good in summarizing and structuring, but not in drawing. So it's much more than that. Okay, what's the next step then? So we have the different scenes. What do you want if you read a comic or you look at, if you read a comic, what do you need to know how to read the comic?
Different scenes to go from pane by pane.
Yeah, you have the different scenes. What else?
Flow, you need to
Yeah.
have a flow.
Indeed, you need a flow. And how could you indicate a flow?
Arrow.
Yes, what else?
Numbers.
Yes, what else? Colors, exactly. Something else?
Hierarchy.
Yeah, indeed. So, oh, no, I'm going the wrong way. Yes. So we can indeed indicate the flow by, and you can do the same now with your drawing. You can like do a line. I hope I'm going the line. Maybe you can do it. You can do it, it's yours. So you can indicate a line to see, to show how you have to read the story. See? Right. And indeed, you can also do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because our brain, even, it doesn't take energy from our brain to know that 1 comes first and 2 comes second. It's like programmed. So that's also a way of doing it. Or an arrow. So just try to do it with your drawing.
So you said like, if you want to put like in the PowerPoint, right? Yeah, we don't have much of these curved structures in PowerPoint. So
Yeah.
are you suggesting like go to which website you said like, because most of the times we use PowerPoint to convey the story to students, right? It's
Yeah.
not that I don't get time to,
Yeah.
I don't put anything on the board or on the paper. So we prepare the content in well ahead. PowerPoint is the primary source of information sharing. So what do you suggest if I have to use these things in the PowerPoint?
Yeah, so of course, PowerPoint has a very linear way of telling a story. So basically, PowerPoint replaces the scenes, more or less. And that's the downside of PowerPoint. You can't give an overview. So what I do is building up one visual story on one page and build it up in PowerPoint. So I don't know if you heard of Drawify, that's the platform that I founded. So there you can make like an overview, a picture with like 5 or 6 different elements. And then you can build it up in your PowerPoint. So the first click shows the first scene, let's say. The second click, there's another scene coming. The third click, a third scene. So it builds it up in PowerPoint. You don't show the whole slide at once because then people see everything together and then they're not listening anymore. But you do it step by step. You're building up your one page. And in Drawify, it's really easy because you can create 15 or 20 slides in one project and just copy paste it and build it further. It's really easy.
Can we do that with animations, right? But that will require much more thinking about what comes first, second, third. You build up that slide like that.
You can do in PowerPoint animations, and you can choose. You can or just build it up without animations, or you can do slide to slide and use animation. Yeah. By the way, on our YouTube channel, if you are interested in that, on our YouTube channel, there's a webinar of 1 hour with Verity, and it's about how to wow your audience with PowerPoint and Drawify. And it explains how you can make like even video animations using PowerPoint and Drawify without even not using the slide animation of PowerPoint. Very easy. And it shows also how you can do that in a much more compelling way. So, and you don't have to draw because the drawings come from the draft. Very easy. Okay. So that worked well. So just to show you, and we will take this one is also. You're the first one. So like you can see, it was just a page with a few people. If you put a box around it and a line, it becomes a story. Imagine there's a little bit of text, you have your story, right? Same here. It's incredible what you do after 50 minutes. We started 10 minutes late, so it's only 50 minutes. And she has like a sketch note of this session. Okay, so I hope you're really ready with this. So the last thing we were going to do is to bring it all together. We started 10 minutes later. So if it's okay for you, we can work a little bit further, and it's an exercise. So you became now the hero of the morning. You are the hero of the story. I want to ask you, if you have to run to another session, I understand. No problem. Thanks for being here, by the way. Make a poster of yourself. You are the hero. You have an emotion, so you can draw the emotion you feel right now after this session. Draw maybe a few icons with it that tell how you became the hero of the morning. So it can be that, for instance, you said, I want to become, what did you say when you came in the room?
A visual leader.
I want to become a visual leader. So maybe your poster can be you that just now, this hour, became a visual leader. So make a poster of that. Put some text in it.
Right.
Maybe a frame, a hero, maybe an icon that expresses your heroship. So you get like not so much time, 5 minutes, and then we will wrap up.
So now we are going to ask you to just to summarize this session, to draw what you take out.
Just say out loud because we don't have time to draw.
Okay.
Because one thing you took away from it.
Okay.
Sorry. But so
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thanks.
I can draw.
And you can draw. Okay. What else do you take out of the session?
I am not an artist, but I can definitely still draw, so I will use it.
Great.
Keep practicing.
Practice. Yes.
I work as a UI designer. So when I was watching this, I found a deep correlation between what we do in design and what we do in art. Like, for example, you were speaking about vision, how to place the headings, what is your scan, etc. Right? That's exactly what we think about when we make a website page. So what is scannable, how to reduce content, so they see the exact content, etc. Things are going to stay with me forever.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm Japanese, and in my culture, everybody's like really good at math. So I felt like really insecure about not being able to draw, but I think I feel more comfortable challenging.
Wow, nice. Other takeaways? Pablo, do you see use now?
I'm busy now.
Okay, great. Okay, so the next facilitator is coming up for the next session. So thanks heaps for being here. So